just chill. I talked to my girl. She went to everything, chilling. And then when I'm done, I go back, and that's when I get to work. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I want to get into what that work contains, I guess. We'll get into that. But I want you to tell the people, what's your name?
My name?
Yeah.
Rajay.
Rozha?
It's Rozha.
Rozha. How do you spell that?
Rozha, and there's apostrophe over the A. An accent over the A.
Do you know the meaning of it?
I do. It was really dope how I found out all of the different meanings of my names, because I got 4 names, real West Indian type shit. Real Caribbean. Like, if you Hispanic, Caribbean, if you old slave family, like, you got a couple names, and I got 4 of them. So my first name is Kurdish, and it means daylight, like radiance, like sunlight, like brightness.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it took a while just to like really get comfortable with it too. It was like just being able to say it without having to like think about other people pronouncing it. That was a big struggle for me for a long time.
So growing up, did you have a nickname?
Yeah, I had a bunch of names.
Were these names by choice, or did you wear them with a badge of honor?
Some of them, like, you remember Dexter's Laboratory?
Yeah.
All right, so you remember how that nigga dressed, right?
Dexter?
Yeah.
With the lab coat and stuff?
That white shirt, black shorts.
Mm-hmm.
Whatchamacallit? That was the uniform for the soccer tryouts that I went to my freshman year of college, high school. But I was dumb short. So my coach, it was just tryouts. He was like, somebody get, whose little brother is this? Get Dexter off the field. And it was Dexter for I played soccer for 3 years for Kobe, and I was Dexter all 3 years. No matter how much I grew, because I was short, bro. I was real short. So like Dexter was one of them. Raj was obviously one. And I guess the 2 biggest ones for real were like Rozha and Flash. Like Rozha came from when I was DJing, and I didn't want to. Like shout out to like Rick Ross and shit like that. But I had spelt it the same way. I just put an extra Y.
Easy peasy.
I was like, what do you say? He was like, Rozha. That's my name. I was up and I was
just dropping that bomb on every time, loving it.
I was DJing in college, bro. It was up, and that's when that song BMF was really popular, like that type of music. Not them, but Rick Ross when he was dropping those type of songs, and yeah, that was one of the names. And then Flash just like ran with me from like college through like I guess like I'm at the tail end of really like the Flash era.
How did you end up with a name like Flash?
I don't know if you can see that.
Okay.
I'm a big fan, but Flash is my number one. But there's like at the time at the time I actually was Kid Flash for a while until I turned 21, because my whole age was different when I went to school. The set I was with, like, so there was it was a league. So it was Batman, Superman, the Green Lantern, and Flash. So each person had their own, like, you know what I'm saying? And that just became who I was, just kind of everything. That's my handle, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
IG, like, now it's you just following me at a certain age, whatever the case is. So it's like Flash kind of ran with me and stuck with me. But I think we might be almost done with that era. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be forever Flash. Like, when it's coming, like, you're gonna get the chains and everything like that. The chains is gonna be good. I'm definitely getting the Flash chain for sure.
That's gonna be fire.
Yeah, that just goes.
I mean, the tattoo forever.
You see what I'm saying? The ink is forever. I got Batman. I got Naruto. Like, I'm a big.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you into it? Is that a scroll over there?
This is a scroll. This is not anime or nothing like that. That was a quote That was that's my second piece. And I came up with it, and I had text my sis at the like she's family, but like my homegirl, and I was like, cause she ill with the pen, so I was like, yo, I got this quote. Can you like design my piece? And I sent it over to her. She came back and she did this. I just threw it on there. It says, "Write your story, live your story, tell your story." And that was really like a message that I wanted other people to have. So it was like, you got your story, like live it. A big thing about it, the way I was thinking about it in the beginning was like, a lot of people go to school and like pick a career because their family say that that's what they got to do. You know what I'm saying? And they literally will live their life just pursuing that because that's what somebody else wants. I don't really think that shit is right. And then there's different emphasis on the word. So it's like, write your story. Write your story. Write your story. You know what I'm saying? So each one it's just different. So, yeah, man, my ink, you know what I'm saying? Even this little, you see that?
Yeah.
That's my little bartender. You know what I'm saying? Somebody was like, yo, Raj, that's you when you bartender. She drew it on a little piece of paper. She's like, yo, that's you when you bartender. I was like, say word, do it again. And she was a lefty, so I don't know. I kind of got like, I feel like lefties are a little more creative. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, granted, I got a stick figure from her, but I was like, yo, like, draw it correct. Like, give me a shaker or something, and I'll get it tattooed. She was like, no, you won't. What? Bang, baby, what's up? So I'm here for it.
I mean, it looks to me that from the nicknames to the tattoos, there's an evolution to Raj that's ongoing, and I love that because life is a process that is ongoing, even with each day. With all that, who are you feeling like today?
I'm Rajay, man. Raj. Raj is the most I give you, like, because at this point, bro, niggas can pronounce Beethoven. You can't pronounce Rajay.
Rajay, I feel you. That
you can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, we exasperate it so much just because of how it's like blended and stuff like that, and obviously seeing it on paper makes it way harder, so you automatically get confused. But when you hear it, I'm like, bro, y'all could pronounce all these other wild. You want me to go down the list? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you're not going to put your time into this?
It's 5 letters, bro. I'm giving to you easy.
Yeah.
Come on. So it's like, all right. So, yeah, I'm me.
And what keeps you centered as you?
What keeps me centered, I guess I would really have to say God, because at certain times, I could be like, I can show self-sabotaging behaviors. I can demonstrate self-sabotaging behaviors, and they can get so close to the edge that it's like, he's got to be the only one that saved it, because, like, bruh, like, you wildin'.
Yeah.
And God is like, listen,
Like, he's like, get that time to sit back down. I'm like, damn, I was bugging.
You know what I'm saying? And so now, like, a lot of it, my intent now is like for me to live my life centered and create a lifestyle around that, being grounded in a like momentary, like where I'm at, that awareness. Because I think that's what fear is, either your attachment to the past or your anxiety about the future.
Okay.
Because if you think about your safety right now, are you afraid now? Your hands start to sweat when you think about all the things I did or all of the things I could do and I could go wrong, blah, blah, blah. But if you think where you are right here, right now, you take a deep breath, you close your eyes, your body's going to tell you you're safe, your mind's going to tell you you're safe, your heart's going to tell you you're safe. And that's your spirit talking to you, and that's where God is. So it's like when you connect with that, you kind of have this resurgence within you that's kind of revolutionary.
That's powerful. And I have to ask, when I hear the nickname of Flash, though, I hear somebody that goes really fast.
Yeah.
And when I hear your explanation of the things that keep you centered, I hear somebody that's understands that they need to find their pace.
Yeah, for real. It's a marathon. It's a marathon. And that's why Nip was so profound with what he was saying. It hurts. Like, my best friend asked me the other day, he was like, yo, it don't hurt to listen to pop's music. because Pop Smoke is not coming out with new music. But I was like, it do hurt, but I still listen. And I was like, that's how you feel about Nip? And he was like, yeah, bro, it like hurts to listen because I know we're not getting no new music.
Yeah, that does hurt. That don't hit different.
You
It's
feel
like,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
So now when you go back and you listen to the Victory Lap, because I like it's probably one of the last songs I was playing like the album, and it was just like it's really a marathon. It really is something that you can't sprint to the end. You won't make it.
No.
You quite literally will not make it.
Not at all. And speaking of Victory Lap, the specific song that I love off of that joint. I mean, there's various songs,
Yeah.
but Loaded Bases.
Yeah, that's the L one.
That joint full of messages.
That's a fact. That's an absolute fact.
And that's just Nipsey's music, you know, speaking to his own experiences, overcoming and changing, shifting the perspective.
The biggest thing for me, and when it comes to music, is like I was in so many pockets in and out of music. And what I mean by that is like I didn't grow up consistently listening to music. Like in Jamaica, me and moms wasn't really bumping music in the crib. So it wasn't really that type of vibe. So it was more type reading. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, so you grew up in Jamaica?
I was born in Jamaica.
Okay. When did you emigrate?
That's crazy you say it like that. I forget that that's a thing, but it's crazy when you say it like that. It was 333. That's Balance's number. Shout out to remember we catch that on camera for him.
Okay. We got something I love to Balance.
That's my boy. What? That's crazy. Hold on. That's crazy.
You gotta tell us what you're doing right now.
Nah, it's man. Oh man, it's just like you see people really like in business. I was just responding to a text like and just seeing like how people can take people's services, especially in small businesses, for granted sometimes. Especially when the lines are like family and business.
Oh yeah.
And that's why it gets real. You gotta be real careful. But that's a separate conversation. But you asked the question.
I mean, I don't ever want to feel like we come here. We talk about anything. You know what I mean? And I want to be respectful if you don't want to share that. But speaking of those blurred lines, like my friend Chakai, who runs iStudios, for those that are looking to start their own podcast or looking for somebody to produce their podcast or edit their audio and make clips. He has services for all that. But speaking of blurred lines, he's somebody that's very organized, and he sets a really good precedent in regard of even when it's family, like he pays you for his services, and when he offers his services, ideally he wouldn't even ask you to pay, but just off the strength, you should, obviously. You know what I mean? If somebody that, like, he'll ask me to walk his dog, and I'm like, listen, you just asked me to walk your dog. Like, I don't need you to send me anything for that. And he'll send me every single time. And I think when it comes to those blurred lines, that I don't want to disrespect people, but it's really that person's character.
I think you got a good point when it comes to you talking about the other person's character.
Yeah.
I think that's a good point. I believe what it is also is like just because you, the entrepreneur, have changed your mindset to think about business doesn't mean that everybody else has. So we're almost kind of the minority group sometimes in different demographics of people who think about business and not personal versus people who think about personal and not business. So you gotta think about who you're dealing with too in their mind.
Yeah.
Say, okay, why would that person think like this? Okay, that makes sense because they don't think like this because blah blah blah. So it's like, all right, you just kind of gotta give and take a little bit, and only a little bit, because besides all that, you ain't about to be out here taking off of me, like. And I think that's another thing too. I also have a challenge with giving. When my dad, like, my mom told me the story. She was like, when you was born, your dad was like, oh, that's what we was talking about too, Jamaica.
We can get back there. I ain't forget.
Yeah. She was like, your dad said, oh, I hope he doesn't have a giving hand like I do. And I was like, cursed mother. Damn it. Like,
I said, damn, Dad, I got both my hands out.
it's crazy. And I really I really had to learn to adjust that kind of mindset, especially when it comes to my businesses and my services and knowing my worth when it comes to their, really drawing that line and say, hey, I'll give you the shirt off my back. I'm not gonna charge you for that. If I give you my service, you gotta pay for that. Period.
How have you dealt with somebody trying to take advantage of your service?
Thank God I really directly I haven't come across somebody like that. Because our service so far is our service is transactional. So I'm on top of the transactions.
Okay.
If we get into the conversation of transactions that were not tangible, like maybe I'm making a connection or I'm making a phone call or I'm putting somebody on, like those type of stuff, maybe somebody might have got away with one or two where we could have came off together and got right. But I really am not looking. My mindset hasn't been. I've got businesses where right now I'm thinking long term and not profit, and then I've got the profit business that is also long term. So it's like y'all got lucky that I was looking over here, but trust me, I'm watching.
Okay. Down your eyes, crossing your T's.
Facts.
Yeah. But yeah, let's get back to it.
Jamaica. I was 7 years old. I came here just before 9/11, bro.
You was living in New York, or you
Hell
can't?
no. Hell no. I was right here in Bridgeport and over there in Bridgeport. I was, touched down 2001, and it was on, man. It really was. It was like a welcome to America, welcome to the world. It was only a couple months before that, so it was like I think I came here on like vacation once when I was like younger, type. You know what I'm saying?
7, I can imagine you truly understand what's going on then. Because I remember back in the day, I don't know how old I was. I think I was in like maybe 4th grade.
I was in 4th grade.
Oh, so the same age. I remember my mom picking me up from school.
Facts. I think everybody like remembers where they were that day.
Yeah.
For sure. I definitely, to your point, at 7, I didn't understand government, politics, and that was, again, based off of, like, our kind of life that we lived in Jamaica, where we really didn't see, like, in my home, I wasn't watching the news like that. I didn't study government, politics. My dad was like, he was the chairman of the second largest security company in the country. And my mom had worked for, at the time, she was the assistant to the top lawyer in the country. So it was straight, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't know, it was just me chilling.
So did 9/11 make them think like, they wanted to go back or have any regrets?
Nah, well, my dad stayed in Jamaica regardless. He ain't come.
All right.
Mine that came. And so when I don't think that shook her at all for real. Like we just locked in because it wasn't really. We got almost like the ripple effects rather than the actual center, and our life kind of just we still had our life to live, and that's what we did. And it was to this point, it's a hell of a life.
You gotta make the most of it.
Yeah, man. Even that's what my driver was talking about. You know what I'm saying? My driver was like, yo, young, we gotta live, you know what I'm saying? And he was comparing his head hair to my bald head. He was like, bro, I wish I had you. I'm like, what? Yeah, because he was like, yo, this is a hassle. I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Sometimes I wish I could just zoop and hop in the shower, boom, boom. I was like, damn, I appreciate you. Man.
Nah, you get them. We got some positives, and you are in the brotherhood. Gotta make some phone calls, do some emails.
For what?
To initiate you into being you.
What?
We'll discuss that off air. It's very private elite organization.
Yeah. Elite. You hear me? Top tier. Jeez, man, this is madness.
But man, I keep thinking about all your different interests.
Okay.
So you said you were a DJ, you've bartended,
It's crazy.
big fan of
You want me
anime.
to go through? You want me to give you like a rundown?
Yeah,
Right here.
throw
I
it,
get
throw it.
exclusive. I give you the first. I give you anything.
Let's hear it.
All right. Let's see. First, I won't even go in like order. All right. So DJ, photographer, kickboxing instructor, bartender, bartender training, certified bartender. I said DJ. I was I was nominated co-captain of my step team in college, but I dropped out that same year. Then host gang poetry. We got the business. Business curiosities is separate. That's a whole other list. But personally, I think I really love archery. I wanna invest in some equipment, be out there like practicing and really get out in the field. I think that's about it. Comic books, you know what I'm saying, anime. And I think that might be it for right now. But as far as like projects and stuff like that, things I've done for work, I think that's about it.
That's a long list. Sound like you spent a lot of time finding yourself. How did you figure out you have an interest in archery?
Oh, I love the bow and arrow. I just knew.
You just seen it and it's like, yo,
seen it and knew.
that's just it.
And I knew I don't like crossbows. I don't mind them. I'll use them. You know what I'm saying? Walking Dead zombies pop up like Dale Dixon, but like I would much rather hunt. Like I'm running down. Like, what? My daughter even picked archery as one of her sports for school coming up. She was like, "Dad, yo, I gotta pick two sports for school." I was like, "Where? What'd you do?" She's like, "Cheerleading and archery." I was like, "Lit." We've been practicing. She was a child. So it was like, she's still
apocalypse come, we gotta be good together.
we straight,
The Last of Us type shit.
It's just we go get the bread, we invest in the bunkers, and we go get, you know what I'm saying, what we need. I just saw a video they put in like a 6-person tsunami survival tanker, and it's just like a enclosed thing where you could survive up to like I forgot how many days with that amount of oxygen in there. You just go in there like a seat. It's like a little couch here, a couch there. They secure them up. If the flood comes, boom, it just rises up and just bounces around until you land up safely. God's willing, safely, because if you get
put in the ocean,
they put in the ocean and bitch, you duh. So it's like, I guess y'all ain't really think it all the way through, but prototypes,
right.
So, but all of that stuff is just stuff I like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I haven't found painting to be one of the things that I'm necessarily good at. So I don't not have a problem with it. I just don't necessarily care to do it. Like I may not mold do something in pottery, but like I'll play the music. Like I'll get food. I'll put the drinks out. Like
I'm hearing you say all these different things, right? Said you're a host, bartender, kickboxer, instructor. But there's a passion that I've seen you display that I didn't see you mention.
What's that?
And I don't know if you specifically chose not to mention it. When did you start writing poetry?
Damn, you know what's crazy is what's wild is I don't respectfully, like, with all the art that's out there and all the talent, respectfully, I don't even consider it a passion for me, because I've seen what passion looks like in words, and I've seen what passion looks like in the work that artists take the time to put in to practice and get the repetition down. It's a joyful expression for me, definitely. I started writing back in my senior year in high school. I think I wrote my first poem, and then I went to St. John's, and they had like a food for thought poetry club. So they would like meet, you know what I'm saying, a little in the center. I forgot what the schedule was, but it was once in a while. And even when people saw me doing gang poetry, like a couple of people would hit me and be like, "Yo, I remember this from like your food for thought days. Like this makes sense." So I have a passion and appreciation for the art
Okay.
for sure. For doing poetry, I think if I was super passionate, if I was OD passionate about it, I'd be writing every day. I'd be practicing every day, and I'm not. And I seen the work that real like hard, heavy hitters like poets. I seen what they put in, and I take my hat off to them.
Okay. So out of respect for the craft.
Yeah, out of respect for the craft, I have a passion for the art.
Yeah.
I have it's a renaissance. Like that's what gang poetry really was about. It was like this. It was a new era. Literally, it was a pandemic. We was coming out of a global shutdown, and people needed things to do. And so we created a safe space for people to come out and enjoy a different dynamic of a show and an experience. And gang poetry was that. And it was based off of the idea that we just didn't know any poets in Bridgeport. That's literally what Phil said.
Yeah.
Bro was like, "Yo, I don't know no poets in Bridgeport." I was like, "What?" I was like, "Say word," and we just chopped it up, and it stuck.
Definitely, those events are definitely something to experience. I definitely highly recommend somebody stepping out, seeing a gang poetry show. I had the pleasure of seeing you host the one at the Bijou.
Oh, you were there. You were in the audience.
Yes. I was around. I was getting familiar to the scene. It was dope. It was very dope.
Thank you.
But I want to switch up the pace a little bit. Get into some rapid cues.
Let's go.
Can you answer I don't need you to think too long.
I'm going.
Let's get right into it. All right. How long have you been wearing the socks on your feet?
4 hours. 3 hours.
Okay. Last time you said sorry.
When I texted you.
Did you brush last night?
Yes.
If you could ask me anything right now, what could it be?
Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Hell no.
Wow. Crazy.
I'm crazy. That's disgusting, man.
You're bugging.
No, why you? Not even gonna let people ask me questions anymore after that. You could ask me anything. You could ask me my social security number, and you went with the pineapple on pizza. You could have had me, man. That's really honest though. Yeah, you really, you did take sorry about that. I appreciate that. Very considerate. Other than that, you're not really a late person, so I had no problem with that.
Thank you. So I'll let the pineapple slide.
I'll let it slide.
I think I said no more questions. Go ahead, keep going.
Nah, we'll go back into it. We'll go back into it. What is your fondest memory with Logan?
My fondest memory with Logan? It was recently. It was her birthday, right?
When's her birthday?
July 2nd.
Okay.
Fun fact, that's actually the starting point of the second half of the year. It's her birthday.
Oh, okay. It's like right in the middle.
Literally that day.
Oh, that's dope.
So it was her birthday weekend. And it was a father-daughter dance that we wanted to go to. And we actually pulled up and we were funny. I appreciate you saying that, but we were actually late to it. We did have a rundown. Like it was her birthday. We had another party to go to. And then we was trying to catch the dance. And my baby, she was like, you could see it on her face. Like it hurt her that we were late. So I'm like, all right, I gotta do something. And then we just like made a move real quick. Went down to the water. You know what I'm saying? And then I was just skipping rocks, and we had a good time on the beach and by the water. And like, I know that right there is a core memory for her. You know what I'm saying? So like, that moment made me like very appreciative of all of the moments that led up to it, like all of the ups and downs and the things I thought I did wrong, and like she loved me in that moment. That's a core memory for her and a core memory for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I really held on to that.
That's powerful, man. So
I rock with my kid, man. Now my kid is a soldier. Word to me, she's a soldier. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like
You got kids?
nah, not yet, not yet. I got
You gonna adopt?
huh?
You gonna adopt some kids?
If I got to, for sure. No,
That's
seriously,
lit.
seriously.
That's lit.
I got a plan. I got a couple things in the works for myself personally over the next couple years.
Say that.
I mean, I don't want to speak too much about the things I have planned until they're more
But
solidified.
you got siblings, though?
Yeah, I got siblings. I'm the youngest of four, though.
You the youngest of four?
Yeah, youngest of four. So,
We ain't talk about siblings yet?
mm,
You know how many siblings I got?
no, how many siblings you got?
13.
13 siblings?
You know how many siblings my mom got?
How many she got?
16.
Yeah, y'all ever have a family reunion?
No, because I don't even know none of my siblings.
Shh.
So shout out to my siblings. If y'all ever see this podcast, hit my line, man. We here. I'm here.
Have you tried to reach out before?
Yeah, that whole experience has been crazy. Like talking to people on Facebook. Yo, do you know this uncle? Do you know that person? They're like, nah, I don't know this, but I feel like we gotta be tied together because the people's names and all. It's just.
And mostly siblings back in Jamaica?
Yeah, I think so. I think I got a couple here, and I will say, like, I definitely stunted on my one of my sisters one time, and I'll never like, I won't say never, but I still haven't like forgiven myself completely for it because like she was reaching out to me through one of my cousins who I just got back home to Jamaica, and at the time I think that was just after my dad had died. So I really wasn't I wasn't trying to do too much. I don't know what type of headspace I was in. And I never like got to talk to her. And she's still alive as far as I know, but like I never like took that opportunity. And I try to hit him back like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? Like tell her to hit me up, whatever. It's a dub. So it's like that's why you really gotta take your opportunities when you got a chance. You know what I'm saying? Because that might have been one of my only chances to really talk to one of my family them, you know what I'm saying? And who knows if I get another chance? That's up to God. You feel me? So I know I got nieces and nephews out there. Like family is deep. Bro.
When was the last time you were in Jamaica?
2005, gang. That was the last time I see my dad alive.
What? That's a long time.
Yeah, that was the last time I see him.
Have you dealt with the loss of your dad?
Dealt with what? Man. Hell no. I don't know what happened. I will say I felt like it was a piece that there was this closure, I think, when he passed, that it was not communicated between me and him, but I think that we both felt it. I felt it in my spirit that it was well. It was because I wasn't angry. Like I wasn't angry no more. I didn't feel weighed down by what the relationship was or wasn't. I just feel like between me and him, it was settled. And the thing about me and him is like, me and him, not for nothing, like me and him really might have been like the two, like closest, like the ones that should have been. Like if it was me and him, and I'm not being I don't want to like sound disrespectful, but like out of all of them, like all my other siblings, I probably feel like the reason that he wasn't in my life is probably because we would have been dominant together. Like me and him would have rolled over everybody, and he wasn't in my life. And I think you remember that movie Chronicle? Well, not Chronicle. Will Smith and his like the girl. They had the superpowers, but they couldn't stay near each other.
No,
They got weaker together.
I don't know that movie.
I forgot the name of it. I'm gonna tell you, Hancock.
Oh, that I didn't see the movie. I feel like, or I didn't pay
It
attention.
was basically they had powers, but if they stayed close together, they got weaker. If they stayed apart, they got stronger. And so, like, I don't know. I don't. It kind of sounds like a loose reference now, but I think the point I was getting at was really like we probably would have been weaker together, even though we could have been stronger. And even down to like talking to my uncle, like I reached out to my uncle recently. I was like, yo, like this is like ace type. You know what I'm saying? And I had him like, yo, did he ever talk to you about me? And he was like, nah. I was like, okay. But my mom looked at me and she was like, you look just like your dad. She was like, you are your dad's kid. Like you are your dad's son.
Uh-huh.
You see what I'm saying? And I feel like I know that. That's why it was so. That's why it all boiled down to me. And it was like my mom was the last of. She was the last of 16. 16? She was the last of 16, and she was a twin. And her twin brother died so she could be born. Then she met my dad. He had the other kids, whatever, and then they had me. And then I got my daughter. So all of that up there in the family, in the stratosphere and all that, you feel me?
So your immediate family is you and your...
That's it. Hold it down for the set.
Keep that legacy going.
Got to, man.
Logan got a middle name?
Denise.
Okay. That was given to her by you or her mother?
Her mother's mom passed away when she was younger. So we gave it to her to honor her.
I love it.
Yeah, we made her name pretty simple. Because, challenges.
Yeah. That's real. That is a cultural thing. I mean, I feel like that is definitely a big reason why my name Brian. Easy. My mom ain't want no issues. She was like, you gonna make it through. It's gonna be simple.
Rajon Rondo did. There was a clip I saw. They're like, is it Rajon or Rajon? He said Rajon. He said it's Rajon. He said, all right, so why they call you Rajon? He's like, I don't know. My mama just named me some bullshit. I was screaming. I was hollering, guy. Like, it'd be like that.
For real, though. For real.
Luckily, her mom was into like comic books to a certain point. So Logan is Wolverine, and so that was her favorite superhero. So I had my bid in case I had a boy. I definitely wanted some type of Flash legacy in there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I really had some different plans. So and Logan works. So her whole name is rocking up.
Yeah, Logan's a beautiful name.
Yeah, thank you, man. She's a good kid, man. She's a soldier.
Oh, you experienced a lot.
Yeah, I've been around, bro. I've been around. My life been on the move.
So I want to get into I guess that's a bit of a trigger warning.
Okay.
Have you had any struggles with mental health?
Sure do. Did.
How you feeling today?
I feel great.
Feel great. That was that. All right.
Nah, I feel great because I have taken the path of regaining my control and my power. And that comes from, first of all, being aware of my mental health and being able to say, okay, what parts of me did I neglect? What did I tend to? Why is my life like this? It's because you tended to this garden instead of this garden. Okay, it's going to be hard, but this could come from tending to this garden. And that's the space I'm in now. So what I've done is, and I've been blessed to be able to do, is get a team around me. You know what I'm saying? It's really important for niggas to really talk about mental health. And not even to talk about it, to really be about it too. To really, and it could come in different forms. It could come in you having a conversation. It could come in you go do a podcast and you talk about how you feeling. We do mental check-in helps. You know what I'm saying? When we do some of our meetings, we were just like, yo, how's your mental health? And I'll go around the room, just ask people. Because how often do you, during the day, how often do you really have that conversation? And then one day leads to 7 days. Now in a week, how often do you talk about your mental health? Now you're a month in. When was the last time you checked in on your mental health? And that just compounds and compounds.
How did you find this group, or what?
How did I
piece it together? What was the spark to that?
The mental health Avengers. Oh man, the Assemble came last year. I really hadn't done any therapy besides couples therapy. I had tried back before, me and my daughter's mom and all that had gone our separate ways. So that was really the only therapy I kind of did. And I did a little more to continue after that. But I knew that I had some deeper stuff that I just feel we got to get in there. And last year, it just one by one, I took, and also for the longest time, I had no insurance. Word to me, I had no I didn't have insurance for a little while.
That's real.
I didn't have insurance, so I as much as I was on Psychology Today and I was on da 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 trying, you know what I'm saying? Couldn't do anything with it.
Because I was going to ask you, somebody that seems like very aware of your emotions and acknowledging that sometimes you would need some type of help. You said you developed a team from having your boys in college. If you went and tried couples therapy, why didn't you try individual?
The life I was living at the time, like I was outside, you know what I'm saying? I really wasn't, I didn't, like I said, I didn't tend to my mental health. I was neglecting it. So not only was it was lit, I'm saying, and I was up all the time. And so it was not just that, it was also suppressing and neglecting the other spectrum of my life, which was any person's mental health, like your actual mind, your body, you know what I'm saying? So I just put that to the side, and my life had a resounding effect. Switch of, okay, now I'm in a position where I have the insurance, I have access. It was a journey, has been a journey to really like, okay, break down my trust, because I built this guard up and these defenses.
Trust with what? Trust with who?
Therapist. First, you gotta trust. I had to trust my therapist. We'll talk off camera. But like, I dropped bombs on my therapist. I dropped a bomb on my therapist last week. He was like, "What the?" He was like, "Man, you don't not on the phone." I was like, I'll come see you." He was like, "What the fuck?" So it's like, it's because now I'm trusting them, and I'm trusting them with my intent, like my best intention. And that's the same thing I had to do with my relationship too, was I had to learn and grow to understand when she says she appreciates me, why do you appreciate me? And why do I not have to second guess it? Because I'm big on second guessing sometimes, you know what I'm saying? So like, I'll second guess somebody, say they love me. Why? They love me. I got to understand on a deeper level why you actually love me and what I bring to your life, so I can understand why you appreciate me. And that had to come through like growing pains of me listening, hearing her speak, taking it in, all that. And it's the same thing with my therapy. It's the same thing, because I had to start unlearning bad habits. I had to unlearn like how much I was drinking and how heavily I was relying on alcohol. I had to unlearn how lustful and like consumed with flesh my body was. I had to unlearn poor communication skills. I had to start telling myself how to tell the truth again, because you get drunk one night, you do some shit you wasn't supposed to do. You wake up in the morning, you got to lie about it. That compounds. Now you have a habit. It takes 30 days to do a habit. So imagine 7 years of 30 days. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, damn, bro, you got some shit packed in there. And that was almost like surface level for when we really got into it. So it was like, I needed more than just the traditional treatment. So like, let's say you go to get a massage, they tell you want it medium, salt, like hard, whatever. Like, I needed for therapy, I need y'all to
you need the deep tissue.
I need deep tissue, like we
put the hot stones on all that.
Oh, the hot stones be slapping.
Yo, I know.
If you gotta hit a WWE, drop the elbow on, like, let's go, because it was important to me. Go ahead.
No, I appreciate that, and I wanted you to just elaborate on all that, because from my own personal experience and talking to others as well, I feel like you said like when I'm up, it's up. Like those tend to be like when we're distracting ourselves from something else. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And often I feel like it's something where we feel like it's too difficult to change ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Either if situations or it's a situation that we know we need to face, and it's just too hard. Like we choose not to, and we choose to live another way and find all these different things to justify it.
Why is that? What is it that we're so afraid of? What is it that's so hard for us specifically?
And this honestly leads me to my next section of the Book of Human Emotions.
Read that.
So it's not you need to read that. It's a book by Tiffany Watt Smith where she discussed various emotions and how they essentially like where they come from. You know what I mean? An emotion I have for you, I chose is doubt.
Mm.
I want to ask you, when was the last time you felt that?
Right, yesterday. I struggled with not having a response or a defense for doubt, and it would just always win. Doubt always, very often, would just win in my mind. It would just come in, and I'm like, no, doubt, don't start doing what doubts do, and then it just does what doubts do. But what I recognized and what I was talking, as part of the conversation with therapy, was really like, what was the doubt attached to? What we found out was the doubt was attached to guilt. Doubt was attached to guilt because the doubt would do this, right? It'd be like, Raj, we had a great gang poetry show, phenomenal, right? It's that phenomenal show, fantastic. We loved it, such a great production. Then, when I realize that I got something I feel guilty about on the inside, I go home to bed, and in that bed, all of that stuff just drains out. So all of that euphoric feeling and all of that just drains out, and we're left with just the basin of guilt, shame, and that's when you wake up in the morning and the doubt creeps in because it's like, oh, you went to sleep feeling guilty. Oh, I got you now because you're susceptible. The mind is prone, it's susceptible, it's open to doubt because you're going to hear the doubt even louder because you already feeling guilty about yourself. What you feeling guilty for? That's a question you got to find your own answer.
You got to dig deep and you got to be raw with yourself to really get that.
That's the hard part. There's the answer to my question. That's the thing is, are we tough enough to face ourselves? Are you tough enough to really dig through your own dirt to find the diamond?
I would say I am now. I am now. It took me a while to get here.
Right. That's why we're here.
And sometimes I would say I still find myself digging in the wrong dirt, and I need people to remind me.
Hey, come back over here. I think it's hotter over here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You kind of cold right now. You kind of going cold. You know what I'm saying? Hey. And that's what the good Lord will like provide your like discernment, and will be able to like find the right spirits to connect you with, and they'll be able to keep you in alignment because that's what you really want. It's like, that's where God really is. That's where the truth. When you get to that peace inside of you, when you accept your whole story, when you live your story. And that's what I wasn't doing for a long time. I wasn't living my whole story. I was living parts because I didn't want to look at the entire story.
Yeah. Was
I being real with myself? No. If we're being truthful, and not because it's me, it's like the Bible. If the Bible has parts that are missing and we don't have the whole story, are we really reading the whole story? Technically not.
No.
We're reading a condensed version. So it's like, same thing.
I give you chapters 7 through 13 in my life, and that paint a very big, different picture than 1 through 13.
Or if there are books missing, or other people believe that there are different books that supplement others, and there's first and second Maccabees over here in this Bible, but not in this Bible. It's like, all right now, so y'all can have y'all conversations. So think about that principle internally. You say, yo, am I looking at my whole life story in its entirety, or am I just looking at parts?
Okay.
And am I doing that purposefully, subconsciously, intentionally? Am I aware of it? Have I ever asked myself that question? And when I started doing that, I was like, damn, bro, but this feels good. This feels good.
How do you? Damn, that's peace. Yo, talking every time I talk with you, I find a sense of peace, brother. And I want to really just share that honestly. Like, I know there's so much I'm gonna get to with you because you know what it is already. I don't know how open.
We ain't even had none of the brewskis like last time too.
I know we was getting right. You was getting right. I didn't want to be focused, But I don't know what you get into after this. But you let me know.
What's up? Talk to me.
What advice do you have to others that deal with self-doubt? Now that I know we talked about like being really real and raw with yourself, and being able to face yourself, but that is a very I'll say lofty task just to throw out there and be like, nah, you just gotta be real raw with yourself. Like, what workable advice could you give them?
I would say start with conversations in the mirror. Start looking at yourself in the mirror. Look yourself in the eyes and say, I am successful 10 times. Say it 10 times. Say it in front of the mirror. Look yourself in the eyes. In your voice, take the ear pod out, take the beats out, take the headphone out. Just reground yourself with you and start your day with, because specifically in the morning, because your mind is very susceptible in the morning because you're fresh. Your mind is fresh. It hasn't taken in the rest of the day yet. So this is your opportunity to plant the right seeds. So plant those seeds of belief in you. And I'm not doing none of the no shade, but like just the I am affirmations, right? We're past that. That's the trend is over. Like we really got to speak words to ourselves that mean something to me. Like, damn, I don't feel like I could really close this deal. I am successful. I am successful. And that's just from a week of practicing. Now I regained my belief in me being successful just from me speaking it to myself, not waiting for anybody else to say it, not waiting for anybody else to tell me I'm not. Because if I say it to myself, what is their opinion worth?
In the same sense, how the doubt whispers and it grows louder, grows into screams. You drown that out with that repetition of our daily reminders.
Well, here's to your volume control, right? Think about it. You got two speakers playing. One is playing at 3 decibels. The other one's playing at 50 decibels. Mm-hmm. Which one do you think you're going to hear? The louder speaker. So, okay, we got to combat that. If we can't turn it down yet, let's match the energy. Let's try let's just 1 for 1. Let's just try it.
Yeah,
1 for 1. Every time you hear a negative thought yet, you got put on good shoes today. Oh, your skin glowing. Little things. Because like you got to catch yourself in those moments because we're aware of our minds doing it when it starts to happen.
Yeah.
And we allow it. We're like, all right, here we go.
We don't fight back. We don't fight. Yeah.
So in those moments, don't let it slip. Don't procrastinate. Like, I'll do it later.
Nah.
Do something.
Get up. Be active.
Oh, wow. Damn, you smell good today. Like, okay. Let's put something out there. But I don't care. Great choice today. Great decision today. Whatever it is. Because all we need to do,
right.
There's just a lack of. It's a majority of negativity compounded and a very little amount of positivity that we have put out. So it looks huge compared to the little because that's all we've been doing. And other people will do it for us, so they just add to it. Mm-hmm. And a little bit of positivity looks at the big mountain and like, man, I'm going on break. I'm out. I ain't coming back to this job. Because he's one positive emotion versus 10,000 negatives. And because you won't even try to put more to put 1,000 positive emotions in there, now they feel like they could be 10,000. Because before it was just one.
Yeah.
It was an isolated feeling. Think about all of this. Explore yourself. Check where you at inside. technology has got us so far separated. They want us so far separated from the beings, the human beings that we are, to be morphed into technology and cyborgs so they can have more control over us. They want us separated. They want us to disconnect from the land. They want us to disconnect from the body. They want the mind. They literally want your mind disconnected from your body. Your mind is more in your phone than it is in your own body. Think about that. Think about that, my nigga. Bro, like your head, your pause, like your mind, your mind is more engaged in what's going on your cell phone than it is with what's going on in your own body.
Nah, that's real shit, man. It's real shit.
What you think, bro?
They got people programmed, pick up that phone and put your head mind into
And
that.
now that the reason that is so like easy for them is because of the wage disparity. Like you just think about the way the capitalism is nearing its complete mission. It's rounding the corner to try and complete the mission. But I'll be damned and fuck them if they try to come take me out. I'm protected. I'll be damned if I let capitalism win, and that's the real mission. It's bigger, and I'm talking about radical, drastic, stop, and pivot.
I respect that.
You feel what I'm saying?
I respect that.
Because this is it. Like we almost out of options. And I know it because I didn't have those resources. Like I didn't have that mentality and resources 4 years ago when I was drunk off my ass, lit every day, up outside. Like was not thinking like that. It wasn't until the pandemic happened that things in my life started to shift and change, and my whole world changed upside down. And the things that I received and was downloading from God and just spiritual and ancestors and literal energy flowing through me, time travel, like I go crazy.
You ready?
I'm telling you, it was wild. So that's how I know, like, and that's one of the biggest things. And I put it out there. I mean, I speak on it just here because it's you, but like that's one of the big challenges too. Is like we're faced with the reality that if you're loud enough and you get enough love and enough people listen to you and you go against their agenda, they got a problem with that.
Yeah.
And so that's why I move the way I do. But I do need it to be known that I'm coming for them. Oh shit.
You coming for real?
Yeah, I'm dead ass. That's the first time I'm saying that.
I respect the drive. I respect the drive on that's a fight for humanity.
That's exactly what it is. And you know what? To that point, I have to fight to stay alive. Because that's like standing on a train track and trying to run towards a train that's coming. It's coming, bro.
Yeah.
It's coming.
We gotta better equip ourselves and our people, and that's why I don't want to speak I don't want to speak on it yet. But by the time this podcast drops, I'll hopefully have an answer because I'm in the process right now of applying in school because I'm hoping to go back to get a graduate degree, to continue doing this type of work. You know what I mean? That work to educate our people and to equip them to
it's the equipping.
face whatever comes. You know what I mean?
It's the equipment.
So often people come here and they're taken advantage of simply because they're not informed. You know? Yeah.
Chill.
Yeah, we gotta get back in. Let's get back into Rozha.
It's 4:20.
Almost that time.
It's that time. It's that time. That time is that time. Talk to me.
Who or what makes you smile? And don't give me the easy out.
Nah, everybody would think. Your daughter. Who or what makes me smile?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The what is definitely doing the things that I love. Like I said, my hobbies. I love listening to vinyl records, putting those on the speaker and just letting that bump.
You got a collection?
I do got a collection. I sold some of my joints. I sold a Sade record. It was a double disc. It was all for the business. It was like we had some stuff to pay for. And I had to let go of my DJ turntables, my speaker, my vinyls, my record player. I'm like, God, you gotta have a plan.
That's
My
that shit.
camera. I sold my camera, dog.
Damn, really?
Yeah, I sold my camera, my speaker, I had the Newmark NS7 and the jog wheel spin, like all of my joints, turntables, all that, my speaker, everything like that. So it was a sacrifice for the business. We have to keep the business afloat. So, but doing those things do make me smile, and I tell you the God's honest truth. I mean, seeing my lady smile made me real happy because she got a beautiful smile, no cap.
How long have you been with your lady?
We've been at it for going on 2 years now, and a lot of that was really, again, that's a whole nother journey in and of itself. So talk about soldier, you know what I'm saying, and she's one of them for sure. But she's got a beautiful ass smile, so it don't take nothing for me to.
His smile gotta be nice. That boy said it twice.
Yeah, nah, that shit.
Look at him.
Nah, yo, 'cause I'm like, damn, like,
So that's me.
Not even me. That's you. Like, how you look like that?
That's love, bro. All right. We had some technical difficulties, but we have them back in.
Beef for the king, what is you gonna do? When you show up on the scene with his two guns drew, you and your friend to play a little 2-on-2. You be happy what I do. You be hitting the deck. At a tool in the vest, I can get some respect. I'll make a hard for a sucker nigga to flex. Show him to send a squad for but my too large and my way too fresh.
Okay. I just I'm like, wait a second. Okay, he was a rapper too, but then once the other part came in, I was like, this nigga.
The king himself.
Well,
what's up?
You was dropping all these jewels on me. No, you wasn't dropping jewels. You was talking about the smile. You was lost in the sauce for a second. But I love that for you, brother. You talk a lot about that, a lot of your hobbies and how those things keep you centered as well. So speaking of self-care, what did you do to practice self-care in the last week?
That's a good question. I opened up to people. I took actions to show certain people who I care about that I trust them. And that for me is I didn't realize that. I didn't realize I had such trust issues. And I didn't realize I needed to see that I was able to trust people. And the only way I'd be able to trust people is if I show them that I trust them.
What highlighted your trust issues for yourself?
My relationship. Because she was like, yo, you don't trust me. So like for a minute, a lot of that shit that we was up and down about was like, all right, you ain't really all the way opened up tight. And so it's like, I'm not trying to pry, but I want to know something. Like, you got to give me something. And she felt like I wasn't really giving her much. And so a lot of that conversation was like, let's take a look.
So you weren't giving her much in regards of
just opening up, communication.
Of why you don't trust?
No, it wasn't even really why I don't trust. I guess I didn't demonstrate. I didn't make her feel like I trusted her.
Okay.
I didn't communicate with her often. Like through if I'm dealing with something, I wouldn't really like talk to her while I'm going through it. I kind of talk to her at the end of it. Like if I needed help, I might not go to her for like. It really wasn't like a damn. This thing, like he trusts me first, and that highlighted for me. I was like, do I have a problem? And then I would look, and then when and you know what I'm saying, when I started to really take a look at specifically during this last week, maybe week and a half, at the like gauge of how I trusted people, I was like, let me see if I have a problem. And I would go to certain people. I go to my mans. I'm like, bro, let me tell you something. And I share something with him. I ain't telling nobody. And he's like, bro, word. I'm like, all right, damn. I know that I didn't show you trust, all the trust I could, because I'm just now sharing that with you. And it was the same thing with her. So I just kind of explored that for myself, and I realized, all right, I got to reinforce that foundation for me when it came to trust. And so that was my self-care this week, was like, okay, showing myself that I'm able to trust people, because that's my thing about relationships.
How do you show yourself you're able to trust somebody?
By telling them, like, I'll share something with you, and if I trust you and I share that with you, it's because I trust you, because I fuck with you. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to tell you because I don't really open up to a lot of people. I talk to a lot of people. I'm not opening up because not a lot of people need to know my story. But I need to know my story and accept it for myself, because that's the whole first, right? That me, I got to be good with my story. So I'm just now coming to terms with my whole story, my entire story. So like my whole life, I'm not looking at it in parts anymore. I'm looking at it all 29 years. This is what it's been. Every little thing. I know myself in and out. You know what I'm saying? I accept my flaws, all that. I talk to a lot of people, but I won't share a lot with you. I don't know you. I don't really need to. What you need to know all of that for me for? Like, for what? So if I share something with you that really is like part of the story, it's because I trust you. And me trusting you shows me that I'm able to trust. Because for a long time, when that got highlighted as a problem, I was like, damn, am I able to trust? Now that's where doubt comes right back in. Nah, you cannot trust. You will never be able to trust. You da-da-da-da. Doubt. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's where, because my mind goes rabbit hole and spirals very quickly in situations like that. So that's why I have to stop. At least for me, I got to stop that motherfucker at the door. Like, nah, we can't play with that. We can't even risk that. Like, you cannot come inside this house, because I'm taking care of what's up here. I'm caring for what's in here. You can't come up here and disrupt all of that. And God forbid you do creep in, just like you said, I'm now more equipped to face what happens. Before, I wasn't as equipped to face anxiety. I wasn't equipped as well to deal with depression. I wasn't equipped to deal with like ups and downs and turbulence. Now I'm more equipped. I have the resources, the team, the access, the accountability. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All that shit matters, bro.
Yeah. It's all a part of the puzzle. Parts of the puzzle. We got to put it all together. I like that. I respect you, and I hope you'll continue on your journey to show yourself that you can trust people. Because it sounds like to me that you got a very strong team around you that check in with you. And like you said, asking questions like, are you emotionally okay? It's very, very powerful.
Like, are you emotionally okay?
Yeah, I feel good. Today I feel very good. In my process and the goals that I have, I feel very driven. There's, like you said, there's shit that if I sat down and thought about, I would let fear and doubt seep in the things that I'm anxious about in the future that I have coming. But I can only take things a day at a time, you know?
Yeah.
And with that, I just try to make this one day as fulfilling as I can. You know?
That's it.
So this next section of the podcast is called "Feel This Way."
What? More feelings?
No, we got the right. It's a little different. It's a little different. It's I'll say a word.
I'm loving this.
We're gonna hop in. We'll say a word. I'm gonna say a word, phrase, or statement, and I want you to tell me what emotions, thoughts, or memories that it sparks. It doesn't have to be long. Could be a sentence. Could be a paragraph. However you feel you want to respond. First is host with the most.
Actually, not gang poetry. My first job at a restaurant was host. I wasn't a server or bartender first. I was a host.
Oh, nice.
So I was at the front door when you came in. I sat you, all that.
Okay. So I should have put hostess with the mostest, huh?
Nah, watch your mouth.
No, I'm just kidding. Black Vac.
I had COVID. I caught COVID the second time, and it was a Facebook post originally, like, "Hey, I'm about to come clean your cars after I'm done quarantine. I'll come clean your cars at your job." And I posted one video on my story on Instagram. My boy hit me, was like, yo, how much you charge for that? I wasn't charging in the beginning, and then now here we are.
Bless.
Thank you.
Spirituality.
I think that's our connection to. I think spirituality is our connection to the divine, because the divine doesn't have a body. God's body was Jesus. So God doesn't exist in the. He exists through us, but he no longer is contained to the body of a man until Jesus comes back, or he has not taken the form of a man. So spirituality is our connection to the Holy Spirit. And the Holy Spirit isn't just the Holy Spirit. It's the Holy Spirit. Like, you are a spirit. That's the Spirit. And that's the one that you got to connect with. You really want to hear God. You really want his direction. You really want to hear his advice. You want his support. You want to fortify your faith. You connect and tap in with the Holy Spirit within you, because he is in you.
Just gotta make that connection.
You just gotta make that connection. You gotta slow down, and you can't. And that's the problem with the Flash, right? It was like, oh, Flash, I had to slow down, bro. I meditate like nobody's business. I'll sit on this floor right now, and no headphones. I don't need no music. I'm gone. Like, I'm on it. I'm a whole nother stratosphere.
Okay.
And my meditation isn't and certain, I guess, common practices. I'm very silent. I'll do silent meditation for the most part. Like, I'll just, because it's command. My thing is command. I'm commanding my mind. Hey, you're gonna slow down. You're gonna get to this email when I'm done. You're gonna send this text when we're done. Body, you're gonna eat when we're done. You thirst, you're going to drink when we're done. We're going to take this time, we're going to lock. It's just commanding of the body. And you command the body, command the mind, the spirit. Now you're in you open yourself to kind of be in alignment to receive that. So spirituality, I could go crazy on that. But I definitely think it's an essential thing that they're trying to disconnect us from.
Okay. Jenny Boom Boom.
Her daughter. That's how we met. I was going to the bathroom, and Jenny turns around. Her daughter had walked up ahead of me, and Jenny turns around. She's like, "Who you?" I was like, "Rajay, who you?" She was like, "I'm Jenny. Are you with my daughter?" I was like, "What, lady? I don't know your kid. Like, but nice to meet you." Jenny, like, no. She was like, "Oh, she's like young, and she has a guy, whatever the case is." I was like, "Man, I was trying to go use the bathroom. I got a vending table over there. You come check us out." If we had a Black Vac table, she was like, "All right, I'll be over there." And then she put us on her story. She showed a lot of love from that day forth, and it was just a blessing to like just connect with her that way.
I mentioned that because that was that first time I saw you host.
Oh, it was the Jenny Boom Boom show?
No, it was when she came out with host with you, right?
Yeah.
Was that?
Yeah. Man, that was crazy, man. We had radio promo. We went up to she invited us out. That's how dope it was. She invited us up to Hartford, to the station. She had us on the radio. For poetry.
That's dope.
For poetry, bro. We got on the news for poetry. It wasn't for music. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's love.
We would make
that's love
for poetry. And that's why I knew it was a renaissance, because regardless of however the poetry community want to act right now, like, GP opened the door for the reemergence of poetry on the scene in our culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, in our area, people wasn't vibing for poetry joints like that. Like, they just wasn't jonesing for that.
Yeah.
And now, like, people are checking. Like, every time a poetry event come up, people's ears are like, "Oh, now
who's performing that? Yeah.
That's the vibe." And so it was like, that's what we came out of Corona and did first. We had 25. We wanted to sell out 25 people. We had 28 people, 6 feet apart, live streaming and in person. We had a band, bro. We put on for the culture, and we'll never take that off. We'll never take that off for GP.
For real. Respect to y'all. Respect to y'all. I remember the dude coming around with the sax. That everything was fire. Fire. It was a night. It was a
We
night.
started from the literal bottom, bro. We had the red curtains in the back. Our event coordination put the tables and the candles, and we had the sanitizer. We had registration.
Everything was legit.
Interviews in the back, and we just grew. You know what I'm saying? GP just grew.
Everything was legit for real.
So it's the Jenny Boom Boom. That's how we met. Was at the bathroom. She thought I was like posted up with her kid. I wasn't with your daughter, Miss Jenny Boom Boom.
The last phrase I have is, if you would kindly finish this for me. God doesn't call.
He doesn't call the equipped. He equips the called.
This is something to hold us